There are a couple other videos on how to do a Serpentine slash accessory belt on a 2021, 19, 18 Kia 2-liter motor. The things that people tend to leave out, I just want to show you real quick because as I figure them out, they became very helpful. The first is the 17 millimeter bolt you have to be able to get a wrench on and put a lot of pressure on to take the tension off the belt is, let me see if I can point to it, that one right there. It's not easy to get to. You need a very long 17 or a 17 you can put a piece of breaker on. You'll also need a T50 for that bolt if you're actually going to change the tensioner. And that bolt down there, that one, if I can get it to focus, there we go, is a 14 millimeter. If you're going to change your tensioner, you might as well change your idler pulley, which is a lot easier, and also a 14, which is right there. There's nothing real hard about this job, so let me come over to this. When you put your 17 on there, you're going to torque it. That would be lefty-loosey, so counterclockwise. And you're really only going to have to push it about a 1/4 inch, and it's just going to take all the tension off the belt, and you can pull the belt right off. This little piece right here, that's actually just an Allen wrench I put in there. You can see the hole right down there on that one, if I can get that to point to it, right there. So as you torque it, you push it, you do it clockwise or counterclockwise, and that hole will move down to where you can get the Allen wrench down through here. And that makes it able to hold so you can take the belt off and all the tension's off of the actual tensioner. When you do that, your belt can come out, you can change your belt. If you're gonna change the tensioner itself, I would definitely suggest that, as well as the idler pulley right there, because they're not real hard to do. The order I did them, I loosened each of these, obviously, and then I took that one out so that I could have a little more movement of the actual tensioner, and then remove that one. So you take the tension off, you put the little pin in to hold it off tension, loosen that one down below. It's not this one. It's easy to mistake the two. So you loosen the bottom 14 right there, the one with the little bit of blue on it that you can see. And then I actually took the center bolt out, the T50 bolt out, so that I had plenty of room to move around. And they both come out. The 14 millimeter on the bottom has to come out underneath this AC tube. So once it comes out, you're pretty good to go. This is a ground strap that runs right here from the block to the actual frame of the car. So I removed the ground strap just so that I had more room to move wrenches around. The hardest thing on all of this is getting the belt on in the right places. I put it on in the wrong spots 3 or 4 times. Once you get it on in the right places, it's a lot easier. The other advantage is if you do take the tensioner out and you put a new tensioner in, I put the belt on the tensioner ahead of time because, let me see if I can come around here and show you. There is almost no room where that tensioner is because that's where it is right there that just went into focus. So there's a tiny little bit of room between the block and the tensioner to get that belt, which sucks. But if you put the belt on the tensioner as you're putting it in and just sort of leave the belt hanging there, it makes it a whole lot easier. Let me get you back in focus. So I put the belt on, the tensioner I brought in and out right through here. So the back part of the engine, where if you have one of these cars, you'll see there's a ton of room. So the tensioner came out, I just took it out there, brought it up through the top, put the belt on and dropped it down in. And then I had to weave the belt in and out, but without any tension on the belt, it is pretty easy to do. So hopefully this video helps people out and you get an idea of what you're doing, because it's really not that hard. And I'll put a link to this in the description, if I can set that down. That is a very long 19 and 17 piece of breaker, or it's actually a combo wrench, but it's long enough, as you can see, to get down in there. If you can see, to get down in there, there we go. And you can get your tension going. Your standard 17 millimeter can't reach it. And the other problem you run into, although this isn't a 17, is most 17s have a 17 combo on the top. So when you do get your closed wrench on the bottom, there we go, so you can see it, you can't get a piece of breaker over the top of this. So you have nothing you can do. It's really hard to get breaker over it because the 17 millimeter head is way too big. So what the 1719 combo wrench does, and this is only, I want to say it was like 12 bucks. What this does really well is not only can it reach on its own, but you can get breaker over the 19 millimeter closed side because it doesn't flare out like a normal wrench does. And you can get a piece of breaker that sticks up almost to the roof of the actual hood of the car, which makes breaking those bolts a lot easier and getting the tension off a lot easier because those bolts are really tight if you change it. So it does take a little bit of work to break those off. Shoot a message if you have any questions. Hopefully I can answer them. I'm not a trained mechanic. I've just played with these things for a while now, and I've noticed the other videos didn't have all of this info in there. So again, good luck.